Seniors, families, and everyone relying on food stamps, listen closely, because this week brings a major update you don't want to miss. Across the country, millions of Americans are waiting to see when their SNAP EBT card will be reloaded. And for many households, this means an extra $291 per person in benefits is on the way. If you've been wondering when your money will hit your card, who qualifies, and what's changing in August, then stay tuned, because we're going to break it all down in simple, clear language so you know exactly what to expect. Now, before we dive into dates and payments, let's pause for a second and think about why this month's update is so important. For many families, food stamps aren't just a benefit, they're the lifeline that puts meals on the table. And with grocery prices still climbing in most states, even a delay of just a few days in receiving your EBT payment can create stress, confusion, and even hardship. And that's why today's update is not just about numbers and policy. It's about real people, real households, and the relief that comes when that card gets reloaded. So here's the big headline. August SNAP EBT payments are rolling out this week, and eligible households should start seeing their benefits deposited very soon. But the exact day you'll get your payment depends on your state's schedule. Unlike Social Security, which pays everyone on a fixed date, SNAP benefits are distributed by states, and each state uses a slightly different calendar. Some states release benefits all on one day, while others spread them out over the course of several days or even weeks. That means to families living just a few miles apart, but in different states, might see their money arrive at totally different times. Now, let's talk about the amount, because that's the part everyone is asking about. Right now, the maximum monthly benefit for a single person is $291, and for a household of 4, that number can go up to $973 per month. These amounts are calculated by the USDA and are based on what's called the Thrifty Food Plan, which estimates the cost of groceries for different household sizes. The good news is that these amounts are holding steady for August, and families will be receiving their full allotments as scheduled. But here's where it gets a little tricky. Not everyone receives the maximum amount. Your actual payment depends on your income, household size, and certain deductions. For example, a single parent with one child who earns a part-time wage may receive less than $580 for the month, while a larger household with no income could receive the maximum amount. The $291 figure that you've been seeing is the maximum individual benefit, and it's important because it sets the benchmark for the rest of the program. And yes, if you're wondering whether there's any extra money being added in August, some states are still issuing emergency allotments or one-time supplements for households dealing with inflation and high food costs. While not every state is participating, several states have announced additional payments this month, and we'll cover those details in just a moment. Now, let's move into the question that's on everyone's mind. When will my EBT card actually be reloaded? Here's the key thing to understand. SNAP benefits are federally funded, but they are administered at the state level. That means each state creates its own calendar for distributing payments. Some states pay everyone on the first of the month. Others spread payments over a 10-15 day period. And a few states even stretch the schedule all the way through the 25th of the month. So, if your neighbor in another state already got their payment and you haven't, don't panic. Your state may simply have a later distribution date. Take Texas, for example. Payments there are based on the last digit of your EDG number, which means households can receive their benefits anywhere from the 1st to the 15th of August. In California, payments are released between the 1st and the 10th, depending on the last digit of your case number. Meanwhile, states like New York and Florida have schedules that can extend through mid to late August. What this means is that some of you watching this video may already see money on your card, while others might need to wait another week or two. And remember, this isn't a mistake or a glitch. It's simply the way each state organizes a system to avoid overloading the payment network all at once. But here's the good news. By the end of August, every eligible household will receive its full allotment of SNAP benefits. Now, let's circle back to the $291 per person figure. This number matters because it represents the maximum benefit for a single individual. If you're in a household of 2, the maximum is $535. For 3 people, it's $766. For 4 people, it goes up to $973. And yes, larger households can qualify for even more. These amounts are designed to cover the basic cost of food, and while many families say it still doesn't stretch far enough, it does provide critical support each month. But here's a warning you need to hear. Not everyone will automatically receive the maximum. SNAP takes into account your income, certain expenses like rent and childcare, and then calculates your exact benefit amount. That means if you're earning more, your payment might be less than the maximum. But here's the part many people don't realize. Even if you're receiving just a partial benefit, every single dollar counts. Because SNAP benefits are 100% funded by the federal government, it's literally free grocery money that you shouldn't leave unclaimed. And speaking of extra money, let's talk about the inflation relief updates. With grocery prices still higher than they were just a few years ago, some states are stepping in to provide supplemental SNAP benefits or one-time boosts in August. For example, certain states are issuing additional payments for families with children who miss school meals during the summer. Other states are using leftover federal relief funds to provide extra dollars on EBT cards this month. These payments aren't happening everywhere, but if you live in one of the states offering them, you could see extra money show up unexpectedly on your card. That's why I always encourage you to check your state SNAP website or call your local office. Sometimes these payments aren't widely advertised, and families only discover them after they see a larger than expected deposit. Imagine checking your balance, expecting $582 for the month, and instead seeing over $700. That extra amount could mean a week's worth of groceries, school lunches for the kids, or the ability to stock up on staples like rice, pasta, and canned goods. Now, let's address another important point: delays and glitches. Every month, I hear from viewers who say their payment didn't show up when it was supposed to. Sometimes this is just a matter of timing. For example, if your state releases payments after 11 p.m., you might not see it until the next morning. Other times, it can be due to a technical error with the EBT system or even a mistake in your case file. If that happens to you in August, don't wait in silence. Call your local SNAP office immediately and ask if there's a delay or if something needs to be updated on your account. Because here's the truth: while payments are supposed to be automatic, mistakes can happen, and with so many households depending on this money to put food on the table, the sooner you act, the faster you'll get it resolved. Now let me share something important that really puts this into perspective. I recently heard from a grandmother in Georgia who told me that without her SNAP benefits, she simply wouldn't be able to make it through the month. She lives alone, and her benefit is $291, that exact maximum amount. She said it may not seem like a fortune, but to her, it means fresh fruits, vegetables, and the ability to buy milk for her grandchildren when they visit. It's not just about money, it's about dignity, health, and peace of mind. Stories like hers remind us why these programs matter. Behind every EBT card is a real family, a real story, and real struggles. And while some people may not understand the importance of food stamps, the truth is that millions of Americans, seniors, veterans, single parents, and working families depend on this support every month. Now let's talk about what's coming next. As we move deeper into August and into the fall of 2025, there are ongoing discussions in Washington about whether SNAP benefit levels should increase again in October, when the new fiscal year begins. Every October, the USDA adjusts benefits for what's called the Cost of Living Adjustment Law. This is where they look at inflation and decide whether SNAP payments need to be raised to keep up with the rising price of groceries. Last year, the adjustment meant a small boost of just a few dollars per person per month. But with food prices still high, many advocacy groups are pushing for a larger increase this time. If that happens, households could see bigger payments starting later this year. That's why staying informed now in August is so important, because the changes being discussed today could directly impact the money you see on your EBT card in just a few months. But here's my advice for right now: don't wait to check your account. If your payment is scheduled for this week, log in online, call your EBT balance line, or check your card at the store. Make sure the money has arrived. And if it hasn't, take action immediately. Remember, SNAP is your right if you qualify, and you shouldn't let a delay or mistake keep you from accessing the benefits you need. And one last tip for those of you who sometimes feel embarrassed using your EBT card. Let me remind you of this: you have worked hard, you've paid taxes, and this program was designed to help you in times like these. There is no shame in feeding your family. If anything, it shows strength to use the tools available to take care of your loved ones. So here's the bottom line. August SNAP payments of $291 per person are starting to roll out this week. Depending on your state, you may have already received your benefits or you may see them any day now. Check your schedule. Stay alert for any extra payments your state might issue. And don't hesitate to reach out if something goes wrong. And remember, this is just the beginning. Bigger updates are coming later this year, and I'll be right here to break them down for you so you never miss a single detail.